Coming to the line for the second time today, On Track, with On Track Racing's Clubmans and Sports Car Club Challenge. Front row is two sports cars. Peter Zealy, race one winner by a comfortable margin in the Zealy Autodors Speeds, ahead of Stuart Mack in the Shelby Can-Am. Those are the two sports cars on the front row. Then behind them will be Dirk Lawrence, Chart Visser, Dwayne Brown, Johan Labuskakny, Jonathan Visser, Eugene Goos, Fred Kruger, and at the back should be Leonard Archer, but he's not there, unfortunately. Looks like that ACD Valcom Honda Civic Type R has given up the ghost for today, and he will not be piloting that any further today. He will be, however, joining us later on in the Hyundai Getz. We've just seen him take second place and win things out in the Super Hatch category for the Phakisa 200 grid race. Flags waving. And a rolling start for this category, making their way around one more time to get themselves into formation and ready to go for the next 8 laps of race action. JDM Tuning and Azoic Panel Beaters Honda Ballard. That is two Hondas side by side there, both of them Ballards, of course. One in the hands of Dirk Lawrence, one in the hands of Chart Visser. We'll be looking to try and sort things out at the front end of this little field of the On Track Clubmans side of things anyway. It's Clubmans and sports cars combined. Heard from an interview earlier on with one of the competitors here, saying that you can literally bring anything that you want to race in this category. That's the really cool thing about it. One car that is noticeably missing, other than the Honda Type R Civic of Leonard Archer, is the Grange workwear car. And it doesn't look like it'll be joining us here for race number 2 either. They come out of the Coca-Cola turn, heading towards the little flick that heads them into Unchini 1 and Unchini 2. Zealy will set the pace once that Pretoria Toyota 86 moves off the circuit. And if anybody has joined us for the first time on our live stream feed, a big welcome here to the Phakisa 200. It's a round of the Extreme Festival Regional Championships here at Phakisa Freeway in Welkom in the Free State of South Africa. If you're watching us from all around the world, a big welcome to you as well for joining us for whatever time you've joined us in your region. Australia and New Zealand should be hitting the proverbial sack right now, about to take a nap for F1 action tomorrow. More importantly is we're going to probably be joined from the northern side of the western hemisphere of the world. So as they come down onto that back straight now, they're going to start to sort things out, get themselves into race pace, race mode, trying to click those visors down, get themselves ready to go. Stuart Mack tucked in behind Zealy. Zealy just trying to stay off the dirty lines, I think, and keep his tyres as smooth as possible, because this is a very high and hard-wearing circuit when it comes to tyre wear. Randall Motorsport Honda, JDM Tuning, then you've got Red Bull Racing's Dwayne Brown. He's alongside Johan Labuskakny in his Subaru Works Impreza. Good time for Damien Archer to join us. Right on time there, Dames. As we're ready to go now for the second heat of On Track Racing's sports car class and Clubmans combined. Stuart Mack, first time out in the Shelby, was earlier this morning. He didn't quite get into the mix there with Peter Zealy. Hopefully he's going to turn his luck around here in the second heat as they come to the line to take the start flag. We are under a bit of load shedding here at Phakisa, so the lights aren't working. We're starting with the Motorsport South Africa flag. As it drops, we go racing. Small gap there between the sports cars and the Clubmans. But as they head down towards turn 1, it is Peter Zealy who gets the drop. Already a move there from Chart Visser on to the second of the Hondas. And looking for a way around the outside of that Shelby is Dirk Lawrence. Lawrence looking for a way around to try and get through, put a bit of breathing room between himself and Chart Visser. Visser goes with him. Looks like Loadhshedding is going to go as well along for the ride, and tuck in behind the two Hondas, bring the Subaru up into play right from the word go. But Mac leads into turn 3 at the moment. It's a little bit wide. It's going to open up the door there to Dirk Lawrence. He will make you pay big time if you leave the door wide open like that. Phakisa in the Auto Express Polo at the back, and they're still fighting hard there with Fred Kruger, and then Eugene Khoes having to come from the back of the pack again in the Master Mo's BMW. Into Coca-Cola corner one more time. The first time in anger in the second heat of the day for On Track Racing Magazine's Clubmans category. Phakisa into second place in the Clubmans class, putting a bit of pressure onto Dirk Lawrence. Certainly found some good pace in that Reindl Motorsport Honda of his. Subaru, Ford Figo, Shelby Can-Am. Behind the Shelby Can-Am, they line up in the form of the BMW of Khoes, Polo and Golf 1 at the back end of the field as they come onto that back straightaway now for the second time. Amazing running at the front end of this one as well, as we saw in the first heat, and expecting more of the same here in the second heat as well. Dwayne Brown definitely looking to maintain a top 3 finish overall if he can. And he's still fighting hard here with Eugene Khoes. Behind Khoes, you can see Stuart Mack just trying to stay with the BMW in that Shelby. Still some smoke coming out of that Shelby. I think that could possibly be what's spoiling his day here. And certainly not going according to plan here for now. Into turn 3, no problems at all there for the two of them. Phakisa trying to close things down on the back end there of Dirk Lawrence. Hasn't found a way through on Lawrence yet, but he's certainly putting a lot of pressure onto the back end there of that Ozoic panel beaters and JDM tuning Honda Ballard. Still no change up between the two of them though as they head down towards Uncini 1. So as we head into Heel Cup one more time with the two Hondas, Phakisa is starting to close things down there on the back end of Dirk Lawrence, but Lawrence has not given up 1 inch of space on this track to allow Phakisa a way through. So going into another lap completed here. It's like a bit of maneuvering happening in the background as well there as the Subaru is being caught. And it looks like Jonathan Phakisa definitely means some business here in the second heat to try and get through there on the back of that Subaru and find a way 1 position higher. Not always easy to do when you're in these kind of conditions, but Johan Loadhshedding certainly has got probably the turn of pace on the Polo in that Subaru. And it's also some race strategy that has to come into play there as well, because we've spoken about it all day long, how hard wearing this circuit is on tyres. Now, which of those two cars has nursed their tyres better? Dwayne Brown being caught now, dropping back actually into the clutches of the Golf 1 in the background. So it looks like Fred Kruger be catching the back end here of Dwayne Brown. Brown's second part of the day hasn't gone according to plan. He was a lot higher in race number 1, fighting with the two Hondas. It certainly looks like there might be some problems there for him in the second heat. Two Hondas going to the back straight again. Possibly going to be in for a bit of a fight right to the line between these two. Phakisa is not giving Dirk Lawrence a chance to get away from him at all. Lawrence hanging on for now. A couple of cars out there that have been prepped by here's a penalty to shop to get them back into race pace and race face, that is. Some nice work on those cars. Here's Dirk Lawrence and his team. Coming into the final corner again to complete another one. Stuart Mack coming through as well. Currently sitting in about 7th place overall on track at this stage. Mack hanging on for now. Let's see if he's able to do anything about the car in front of him. That is Eugene Coaster's BMW. Master Mo's BMW. Still no answer there from that car. So fight continuing here between the two Hondas. Looks like it's opened up ever so slightly now between Dirk Lawrence and Phakisa. Fight is on here between the two of them. It was on. So it might have just petered out just slightly. About 4 laps to go in this one as they come to the closing stages here of On Track Racing's Clubmans and Sports Car class. And that's done for them. Halfway stage reached. Working hard here to stay in the heat, and Dwayne Brown on the sideline there, just in the foreground of our shot. So the Ford Figo looks like it might have given up the ghost. He's lost his wings on that Red Bull Racing Ford Figo. Pity to lose that Ford Figo, but he is parked on the sideline on the exit of pit lane. Stuart Mack all on his own. Not anybody to play with him out there at this stage. He wasn't able to run the same kind of pace as what the speeds was of Peter Zealy. Two Hondas heading down towards Keelkop Corner. 2nd and 3rd place overall on track. Here is your leader, Peter Zealy, out of turn 2 into 3. Zealy ordered his speeds. He's not put a wheel wrong here today. Overall honours up for grabs there for Peter Zealy. And the win in the sports car category as well. Dwayne Brown standing on the sideline there watching the rest of the cars go flying past. It's Probably the worst place to be in a race. Standing watching the other guys out there still participating, still circulating in anger. Now Vincini 2 onto that back straightaway now. Goes Pete Zealy. As I mentioned, the man who's just come back from some international hill climb duties, doing a superb job on a hill climb on the international side of things, piloting his Toyota MR2, which was the hill climb winner last year at Samola. Zealy comes through. 2 to go. Peter Zealy doing it all right at the front end. Dirk Lawrence doing it all right to the front of the Clubman's class. Hasn't really gotten any competition out of Chartvisser in the second part of this race. Now he's pulled away. He's literally just maintaining a gap there between the two Hondas. And Zealy's just maintaining the gap between himself and the two Hondas for second and third place overall. Coming up on Fred Kruger by the looks of things. Battling a little bit here with signal, guys, so apologies for that. Inside of one of the back markers, Kruger getting overtaken by the leader. He'll have one lap less to do. Third place, Chartvisser into Vincini 1 and 2, and they've got Eugene Close up close and personal. They're starting to close down there in the Master Mose BMW. Back straight away, go to the two Hondas and the BM. Equidistant apart at this stage with only a couple of laps to go. Gene is putting the pressure on here in the closing stages. Getting onto the back end of Chartvisser and looking to try and force a mistake from the Honda driver. Oh, close out of shape again. Seen that on a number of occasions today. It's the back end of that BMW stepping out. Rear wheel drive starting to feel the effects possibly of the 8 laps of race action, and it's already had 24 laps of race action on this circuit today. Once in Clubmans earlier on, and once now in the BMW M Performance Racing Series. It'll be coming to complete its 24th lap in anger here at the end of this one. So it's the lead car of Zealy going to take to the line now. He's got a massive margin over everybody else. No worries at all there for Peter Zealy in this section of the race, that is for sure. Out of the double right-hand at Heelkop now, keeping it smooth and steady and bringing it to the line for another victory here today. He's going to be a happy man with that performance, that's for sure. Once again, that speed's being a dominant factor at the front end of an on-track racing, Clubmans and sports car class combined. So Zealy passes the stricken Dwayne Brown. We're happy about that. This little car has always been a good car and hardly has any chinks in the armour. But today there was definitely one. There is second place overall, but first place in the Clubmans. Dirk Lawrence with another trophy to put into that Azoic Panel Beaters trophy cabinet in Benoni. Coming through ahead of Kos, who managed to get through and ahead now of Phakisa. So splitting the two Hondas there with the Master Mose BMW. Raindale Motorsports Honda comes through there to beat out Stuart Mack, who'll get second place in the sports car class here for On Track Racing Clubmans and sports cars. Up next, it's Paybar Volkswagen Challenge. I'll be on track shortly.